So I don't know if you guys remember, but the other day I made a video about Riley Gaines calling out the likes of Simone Biles because Simone Biles attacked Riley Gaines as well as body shamed her, which is quite ironic considering who Simone Biles is, a 4 foot nothing little hobbit. Now, that's not taking away from her achievements in gymnastics or the Olympics. She's fantastic in those sorts of fields, and she's literally one of the best to have graced the gymnastics floor. That being said, though, she stuck her nose in a place and she attacked the wrong woman because she thinks, Simone Biles, believes that men should be allowed to compete against women. That's interesting because there's a tweet that came out recently of Simone Biles who basically said this in October 2017. Good thing guys don't compete against girls or he'd take all the gold medals. And then, well, recently it came as, a huge shock to lots of people that Simone Biles would be attacking the likes of Riley Gaines, who's been sticking up for women and girls all over the world, especially in sport. Because men, as we know, do not belong in female-only spaces or sports. Men are not women, period. So why is it that Simone Biles was going after Riley Gaines, calling her horrible names, as well as trying to body shame her? Well, it's all in the line of inclusivity and DEI nonsense. And, well, Simone Biles happens to be woke. But because the backlash was so immense, so crazy, Simone Biles has done a complete reversal of what she said in attacking Riley Gaines. Now, this is actually pretty incredible. The amount of people that went after Simone Biles because of what she said was huge. News outlets on the right and on the left were talking about it. Simone Biles decided to start a war, and, well, that war ended fairly quickly because, well, a PR individual decided to write up a piece on Simone Biles' X account saying this. I wanted to follow up from my last tweets. I've always believed competitive equity and inclusivity are both essential in sport. The current system doesn't adequately balance these important principles, which often leads to frustration and heated exchanges. And it didn't help for me to get personal with Riley, which I apologize for. These are sensitive, complicated issues. Well, they're not really that complicated. They only become complicated when people like yourself that think that equity and inclusivity in sport means allowing men to compete against women. That's where it becomes really complicated. It shouldn't be, but it is because of people like yourself that advocate for that nonsense. Issues that I don't truly have the answers or solutions to, but I believe it starts with empathy and respect. You threw both of those things out the window when you decided to side with men. I was not advocating for policies that compromise fairness in women's sports. That's exactly what you were doing by attacking Riley, who is defending women and saying that men don't belong in female sports. But hey, anyway, my objection is to be signaling out children for public scrutiny in ways that feel personal and harmful. Individual athletes, especially kids, should never be the focus of criticism or a flawed system they have no control over. Well, like Riley Gaines said, the reason why that team lost, the kids team, was because they had a dude, a boy, as their primary player. So hence, the whole thing was about men being in female sports and spaces. At least, Simone Biles, you in 2017, very different to 2025. I believe sports organizations have a responsibility to come up with rules supporting inclusion while maintaining fair competition. We all want a future for sport that is fair, inclusive, and respectful. Here is what Riley Gaines had to say with Piers Morgan. And by the way, Piers Morgan was at the forefront of this. And obviously, Piers is good friends with Riley Gaines. And well, here is what they had to say.
Simone Biles, one of the great American athletes of all time in gymnastics, replied, "Riley Gaines, you're truly sick. All of us campaigning because you lost a race. Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community, perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Maybe a transgender category in all sports, but instead you bully them. One thing's for sure is no one in sports is safe with you around." First of all, your reaction when this gymnastic legend decided to just go full bore on you like that?
I was in disbelief over this because I am someone who has admired and respected Simone Biles for so long, Piers. I mean, we watched her compete, in 2024 and 2028 and 2016. So, I mean, consider me an 8-year fan of Simone Biles, all the while knowing she's, of course, very liberal. That didn't matter to me. I still think she's the GOAT of all time in her sport. So I got this notification. I click on it and I read it and I read it again. And I clicked the profile to make sure this wasn't a fake account, that this was the real Simone Biles calling me a truly sick, disgusting bully. Like, even still, I'm in disbelief over this comment, not even because of the personal attacks. And we can talk about what she then went on to post next, basically body shaming me, saying that, bully someone my own size, which would ironically be a man, which again, is hilarious for 2 reasons. Number one, she's acknowledging that men and women are physically, biologically, categorically different. But also number two, here's, I'm 5'5". Like, I'm 130 pounds. I would describe myself as very, very standard. Yes, I have muscles, as most athletes do, but I would imagine
not as big as hers.
That's my thing. I would have imagined that if anyone would understand that, it would be Simone Biles. Again, a woman who has I mean, historically advocated for body positivity. She's been a part of several campaigns. That is not at all what we saw. So was in disbelief over this. I even still, I can't make sense of why she did this. Why in the year 2025, this is the stance that she would take. I can't imagine she actually believes it. Being an elite level gymnast, right? Like gymnastics, men and women's gymnastics, it's not even the same sport, essentially. All right. You don't have the rings, you don't have pommel horse in the women's, you don't have the beam in the men's. It's a totally different sport. So I can't imagine she believes this. So then I think the question is, why?
First and foremost, Riley Gaines does not deserve to be attacked by a 4'8" little hobbit. Yes, she's a gymnastic legend, I guess you could say. But she does not deserve to be lectured by Simone Biles about what she should be inclusive of, because, ladies and gentlemen, Riley Gaines lost against a man in the pool. She actually tied with him, and then all of a sudden the trophy was given to the dude, not Riley, the dude. That was signaling to everyone that we accept men in female sports. Or how about Iman Khalif being found out to be a dude, which we were saying all along, beat up the likes of women. Oh, that's okay, because on his passport it says female, so therefore that's allowed, is it? Simone Biles, she's right. She's got no idea about these issues at all, because she's all about, like she said, inclusivity and respect. There's a problem with being too respectful. If you're being too respectful of men in female sports, you're living in a fantasy land. You're living in Delulu land. And that can't actually work. You end up taking over the respect where it's rightfully deserved. Men in female sports don't deserve your respect. They deserve to get the hell out. That's what they deserve. You don't go, oh, because you claim to be a woman, you are one, so therefore we welcome you. That's stupid. That's not fair at all. And fair is fair, I'll have you know, especially in sport. Well, we have 2 separate categories, for goodness sake. Charlie Kirk goes, Riley Gaines broke Simone. She will forever be remembered as a proponent for men in women's locker rooms and sports. That is her legacy. Well, now it is. Megyn Kelly goes, Simone Biles bending the knee is such a win for sanity. She misread the room. The Nat I state sentiment. She tried to play the woke card on Riley Gaines, and neither Riley nor the nation, all of us on X, were having it. She chose more nastiness, and then she was forced to cry uncle. Matt Walsh goes, famous public figures issued a groveling public apology and backtracks after tweeting pro-trans propaganda. This scenario would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. Well, it seems like we are on the right side of history, especially when the likes of someone such as Simone Biles is backtracking, realizing, oh, I think I have tarnished my legacy. I'm supposed to be someone that girls can look up to, but yet how can girls look up to me when I stand for men being in their very sport? Oh, maybe I should have thought of that before I opened my big mouth and attacked the wrong person. Anyway, by the way, Riley Gaines has a lot of people on her side. I stand with Riley Gaines. Many other people with bigger platforms than I do stand with Riley Gaines too. So better be careful next time, eh? Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.